Hey y'all, welcome back to the Briles Bunch. I'm Courtney, and in this video I am sharing 4 simple and easy crock pot meals. They are little to no hassle. You just have to cut a couple things here and there. They're all dump and go, as easy as they can get. If you need some new crock pot meals, then you are in the right place, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. For this first crock pot meal that we're going to be making, it's going to be a chicken tater tot casserole, and for that you just need a 32-ounce thing of tater tots, 1 pound of chicken breast. I'm actually just using 1.5 total chicken breasts that I've got right here. I just cut them all in half. And then 2 cups of cheddar cheese, a bag of bacon pieces, and then 3/4 a cup of milk. And I also use some salt, pepper, and garlic powder to taste. So the first thing you want to do is just dice up the chicken into bite-sized pieces. This was the most work that you had to do for the whole recipe. This is such a good recipe. If you're expecting the tater tots to be crispy like you would in the oven though, you will be disappointed. It definitely wasn't like that, but this was my husband's favorite meal of the week. He said that it tasted like a loaded baked potato, and then we ended up putting some ranch on it, and it was so good. I highly recommend this meal. So after you get all of your chicken diced up, you just want to first make sure that you are spraying your pan or your crock pot. I didn't use a crock pot liner this time, so I just made sure to spray it really good. But then you'll put in your half a bag of tater tots, 1/3 a thing of the bacon, and 1/3 of the cheddar cheese. And then after that, that's when you add in your diced chicken and then all of your seasonings that you're going to season your chicken with. I just use salt, pepper, and garlic powder for mine, but you can use whatever kind of seasonings you want to use to season your chicken. And then on top of that, you put in 1/3 a cup of the bacon, as well as 1/3 a cup of the cheese, the rest of the tater tots, and then on top, you just use up the rest of the cheese, bacon, and then you'll pour in your 3/4 a cup of milk on top of all of that. After you get it all dumped into the crock pot, you just want to cook it on low for about 4 to 6 hours. Again, it was just so cheesy. Our family loved it, especially with the ranch on top. I highly suggest using some ranch on top. But again, if you wanted your tater tots to be crispy, I would not suggest this meal. But if you're okay with them being more like potato-y and like a loaded baked potato, then I highly suggest it. It was so yummy. For this crock pot meal, we're going to be making some hot dog, chili cheese nachos, and I am super excited for this one. I've never made these before, but it just sounds so good. You'll just need a pack of hot dogs, a can of nacho cheese, a can of cheddar cheese soup mix, green chilies. This is optional if you don't like spice. And then I've got 2 cans of chili, 1 with beans and 1 without beans, but you can use 2 cans of whichever kind you like. Chopped up onions, and then some tortilla chips or corn chips. And I actually got this recipe from a cookbook that I got for Christmas several years ago, and I've never really actually made any out of it, but here is the actual one if you want to screenshot that. So we're just going to start really quick with cutting up the hot dogs and the onion, and then we'll go from there. So that was all of the prep work, and now you literally just dump everything in, starting with the hot dogs and onions, and mix all the other things on top. I'm actually only going to add in about half of the can of green chilies because I don't know if my kids will take that or not, the spiciness of it. And I'm just going to mix that up the best that I can. If you want to, you can take an extra step and mix like all the sauces together in a separate bowl before putting it in it, but I just wanted to make it extra easy and not have to do that. And if you're not using a liner, you want to spray the pan too. super quick and easy. It's definitely not gonna be the healthiest, but I think it's gonna be pretty yummy. So here it is in all of its yumminess. I feel like this would be like good for get-togethers or just a special treat throughout the week, because it's definitely not the healthiest, but it looks good. For this next crock pot meal that I'm going to be making, it was a sausage and pierogi casserole. I was super excited for this one because I love pierogis, but for this recipe you will just need 1 pack of any kind of sausage. I'm just using the Hillshire Farms smoked sausage, and then 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese, any kind of pack of pierogis. I'm just using the potato and cheddar ones, 12 count. You can use more if you need to. A can of cheddar cheese soup mix, a can of cream of chicken, and then either 2 cups of chicken broth or 2 cups of water. I didn't have any chicken broth on hand, so I just used 2 cups of water. I also chose to add in some chopped up onions that I already had cut up in the fridge. That's completely optional. We just like onions, so we decided to add them, but you definitely don't have to. But the first thing that you want to do is mix together your soups with your water. So the cheddar cheese soup mix, the cream of chicken, and the 2 cups of water, or chicken broth if you prefer chicken broth. But just whisk those together really good, and then I set those aside to start cutting up the sausage. When I cut the sausage, I decided to just cut it into smaller bite-sized pieces because I knew the kids would be more apt to eat it that way, and I also like cutting mine in smaller pieces as well, but you can just cut them however you like. As far as the order of how to dump everything in the crock pot, you just want to layer half of the pierogis, half of the sausage, then half of the soup mix, and half of the cheese, and then do that same thing over again. And I added in the onions also with the sausage because it wasn't part of the actual recipe, so I just added it in where I thought I should. Then you just want to cook it on low for 6 to 8 hours or high for 4. I cooked mine on low for 6 hours, and I do just want to say, like, I was really excited about this meal, but the texture of the pierogis was completely different than it would be if you cooked them in the oven. It made them more like noodly almost. Like my son, even when he ate it, he actually loved it, by the way. He's 3 years old, but he said it tasted like macaroni and cheese. And it kind of did. After he said that, I'm like, yeah, it really does, because the pierogis were that kind of noodle texture, and then the sauce tasted like the cheese for macaroni, but it was still good. It was just a different texture than we're used to. For this crock pot meal, I'm just going to be making some Hawaiian chicken, and once it's done cooking in the crock pot, I'll just shred it up and put it on some buns. But it's super easy, just dump and go. You'll need, for our family of 4, we're just using 2 chicken breasts, but I've cut them in half, so it makes like 4 pieces of chicken. Some buns, if you plan to do it that way. You can also serve it over rice or like in tacos or something like that. 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, a bottle of Hawaiian barbecue sauce, and 1 can of pineapple chunks. Again, I'm using a crock pot liner and this one as well, but if you don't have one, just make sure you spray your pan or butter it. I'm just going to start by pouring a little bit of the pineapple juice, and then I'll drain the rest of the can. I'm going to go ahead and pour about half of the can into the bottom of it. Then I'm just going to pour in my chicken. Then I'm just going to sprinkle in my tablespoon of brown sugar the best I can. Now you're just going to pour in your whole thing of barbecue sauce. Then just add the rest of the pineapple on top. Cooking, you just want to cook it on high for like 3 to 4 hours or on low for about 6 hours. So it's not even been the full 6 hours yet. It's been about 5, but I checked the temperature because I feel like I have a really hot crock pot, and it was definitely to temperature. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take it out and pour it into a bowl so that I can shred it with my hand mixer. I'm kind of afraid if I was to mix it in here that it would rip like the plastic and defeat the purpose of using the liner. So I'm just gonna pour it into a bowl really quick. Hopefully it doesn't splash on me because that would be really hot. Okay, that was a bad idea. So since that was clearly a terrible idea and it went everywhere, I'm just gonna go ahead and take the chicken out of this and put it in a smaller bowl and mix it up, and then just mix it back together with the sauces. Okay, now let's try this again. That worked much better with minimum splatters. After it was all good and shredded, I just put it on some buns, and I actually added some of the pineapple chunks on top as well. We just served this with some green beans that I cooked in the microwave with some salt, pepper, and butter, and then some Kraft macaroni and cheese on the side. That's always a hit in our house. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. I post all kinds of food content on my channel as well as grocery hauls and things like that. So I would love to have you subscribe and stick around, and then also let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see more of these videos. Crockpot meals are just so easy, time saving, makes supper time just no hassle. But anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Bye y'all.